six or seven NBA teams. The Dolphins and the 49ers. I was at the 49ers last weekend. Bad football. Nothing is worse than having to sit with the president of the football team and watch his team get their ass kicked. There's nothing worse. Because you sit there, you feel so powerless. And you're watching this guy, and it's just his life. This is what he does. And you say, oh, you almost had that, or one more inch, but it's not what it is. But so I work with the Dolphins and the 49ers. I only work with the Padres on the baseball side because I love baseball, and I want to be able to enjoy baseball. I don't want to go to a baseball game looking at signs and looking at different things. So I spend a lot of time increasing attendance, creating ticket plans. I've been in work lately with helping people reconfigure their stadiums. Suites are something that's not going to happen anymore. And y'all know, when y'all go to a game, you don't want to sit in a line of 18 people. You want to have a cool space to hang out in, right? So we're starting to see that more and more. We're having colleges build end zone clubs for students, taking out the seats that you hang around in a lounge behind it where you can do what you want to do. How many of y'all play video games? Sports. All right, I'm huge on that. That's the future. My son works for Riot Games, which is League of Legends, and he's a global brand director for that, and that's unbelievable. So where that's going to go is when virtual reality becomes real, not putting your phone in a box and putting it on your head. When you can put on a pair of Oakleys and kick back and hit a couple buttons, and you can immerse yourself in the game, that's going to be the game changer. Because you're going to be playing a game and all of a sudden there's a dragon and all of a sudden you're sweating because the dragon's breathing fire on you. Or you feel wet because you crossed the river, or your arm hurts from swinging the sword. That's the game changer. And what that's going to do is it's going to affect how everybody feels about going to football games and baseball games and everything else because they're having a good time and they're really immersed. So that's kind of where I see it. I also see virtual season tickets. People aren't going to go to games anymore. You're going to be able to sit, like I told the Golden State Warriors, that right now they could sell 500 million virtual season tickets all over the world where you could be sitting in your living room and it would be like you're at center court. And that's what people are going to do. We could actually get to the part where we pay people to go to games to make noise because everybody's at home watching on virtual. So a lot of things are going to happen in your lifetime. I'll sit here, I'll go right on a limb here. I'm just saying the majority of you are going to work in something that doesn't even exist yet. Okay? It doesn't exist. I mean, I've written the sport marketing book I've done, I'm working on my 5th edition. Every time I write an edition, something else happened. Like between the first one and the second one, the internet happened. Between the second one and the third one, social media happened. There's all kinds of jobs in those areas. So there's a lot to be out there. And all you've got to do is to be really good at whatever you're doing, and people will find a way to adapt your skill to what they do. That's basically it. Because you're not going to have
Edge,
one
please
job
call
anymore.
35725. Dr. Edge,
Sorry.
You're not going to have one
35725.
job for the rest of your life. You might have 10 jobs. You might never go to an office. You might work from home your entire life. But it's kind of a cool thing, you know. And I'm an old man and I see this stuff. So imagine what you see. But it's a lot of fun. So I've enjoyed my career. I've had a lot of fun. Commissioner Stern is a very close friend of mine. Every time I go to New York, I sit down and talk to him. I work for him directly for the 6 years I was there. And he's a visionary. If you're watching this show on ESPN now called Love of the Game, it's called Love of the Game, it's all about basketball. It talks at the time when Commissioner Stern took over, if you were to watch the NBA Finals, they were on what's called tape delay. They came on after the news. So the sportscaster would say, if you don't want to know who won the game tonight, leave the room. And then they'd give the score. And then you would watch a game that was already played. That's how bad the NBA was then. And now it's the second most popular game in the United States. Soccer's probably a dirty word in Texas, but I'll say it anyhow. Soccer will become, in your lifetime, the 3rd most popular sport in the U.S. It'll eclipse baseball. It'll take over baseball. And the only thing stopping it now is the fact that our best athletes don't play soccer. So we don't have enough talent going in to be good. And you know how Americans are? If we're not good, we don't care. men's tennis. Do we care? No, because we're not good. So when we're good at something, we care. So that will happen in your lifetime. What else did I want to tell you before I let you ask me questions? Oh, I'm taking my students to England on Thursday, a week from today, or a week from yesterday. So we're going to go see Man City in Southampton. And we're going to go to Wimbledon, have a tour of Wimbledon. Go see the Crown Jewels. We're going to climb the O2 from the outside. We're going to go to a couple agencies. And then the last night, I'm taking them to see Macbeth in the Globe Theater. Really cool week. Yeah, we do amazing things. And the way I run my grad program is my students go to school 2 days a week. They go from 8:30 on Tuesday till 6 o'clock, and same thing on Thursday. The other 3 days they work. So they get experience. They go 2 years to get an MBA and an MS. They graduate, and my kids get jobs. That's what I'm all about. So I've had 154 kids graduate, 151 have jobs in the industry. So I'm real proud of that. That's what I do. So it's all about you.
Their internships are every other day
Awesome.
in the morning for up to 3 hours for the
Okay.
entire school year. They're here the first 2.5 weeks, the last week of school because they're seniors and they're graduating. And the only time I bring them back in during the year is special guest speakers
Okay.
or at the beginning of a grading period to review what was going on or for other
Great.
guest speakers. And that's
You guys get an amazing experience. So you can go to Oklahoma State. You're going to be a doctor. You major in sport management?
Sport media.
Yeah. Okay, make sure you, I know the sport media professor and Dr. Finch, the sport media professor, is a good friend of mine. I get back every year. Fortunately, this year I went to the Texas Tech weekend.
I was there.
Suck.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen Saturday night.
Texas put in 90.
Yeah, shut
Fail him.
Mac, where you going to school, Mac?
Shirt over here. What do you guys want to know about? Yeah,
What made you want to work in the sports industry?
I did. Seriously, I did. I majored in political science at college, and my goal was to work in government. I'm glad that didn't work out. That's really what I wanted to do, and it just never happened. And my first job was selling sporting goods. So you guys want a career rundown?
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing I did was sell sporting goods in a department store. And I did that for a year. Then I became a counselor in a group home. And I had these kids that were sent there by the courts. I had some badass kids, man. So I did that for 4 years. Then I became the youth director of the First Methodist Church in Stillwater, and I'm not Methodist, which tells you I got bad sales skills. Then they introduced me in church on Easter Sunday, and I wasn't there because I was at the Catholic church. And then they told me I needed to find another job. So I did, and that job was, I was a federal correctional officer at the federal prison in El Reno, Oklahoma. And that was an eye-opening experience. Okay, don't ever break the law, and don't ever work in a prison. While I was doing that, as soon as that was over, I got a job at a YMCA, and I worked at a YMCA for 4 years and put myself through grad school. Nice. I started off as a program director and really liked that. Then I became the associate exec, and I liked that, and then I became the executive director, and I hated that. Because all I was doing was raising money and paying bills. I wasn't working with kids anymore. But when that was over, I got my first teaching job at Robert Morris, my second teaching job at Ohio State, and I taught Urban Meyer and Rob and Rex Ryan. Urban Meyer was an outstanding student. Rob and Rex Ryan could care less. So after that, I took a break and went to work in a sport marketing agency for 3 years. Then I went to UMass for 8. Then I went to the NBA for 6. Then I went to UCF and started my own consulting business. And then almost 7 years ago, I got asked to go start a brand new program at the University of South Florida with partners with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So the Lightning, we're actually called the Vinik program, and that's the name of the Lightning's owner. And so I have an office at the Lightning, and I have an office at school, and all my faculty does. So we're heavily involved in the Lightning, and the Lightning's heavily involved in us. You know, Leon knows how much I like hockey. which is about this much more than I like soccer, and I hate soccer. But it's just funny how things turn out. So they said, you want to go to the game tonight? I go, you should give us tickets to somebody that was really fun. So that's what I did.
Got to go to the movies though.
Yeah, I do that. I saw Bad Night at the El Royale last night. That's a wild movie. Highly entertaining. A little violent. You'll jump a couple of times. It's that good. And I saw Halloween the night before, and that sucked. You see? Anybody go see Halloween yet? What'd you think?
It's all right.
It's all right.
Nothing special.
Like somebody would walk on the show, I go, that dude's dead. That dude's dead. The only one I missed on was her boyfriend. I thought he'd get whacked, he didn't get whacked.
Yeah.
And I got all the others, and as soon as I saw the fence with the spikes
Oh,
sticking
yeah,
out, I
you knew
said,
that one was
right through his neck.
For sure.
Perfect. You know, you see these, if you've seen other movies, you've seen every movie ever made. What else you guys want to know? And girls.
Can you elaborate more on like the consulting side of business?
Yeah.
Like,
So, I was with the 49ers, I flew in Sunday, I went to the game, and then Monday and Tuesday, I spent with, the new, I would call him a CRO, Chief Revenue Officer, like he oversees sponsorship sales and ticketing. And he's just new in the job, so we were kind of breaking down his job. And so we were looking at how he was staffed up and what who's doing what, how the employees were, what contract revenue he had coming up. See, on the ticket side, the 49ers have what's called personal seat licenses, just like the Cowboys, where every seat somebody owns is a personal seat license. In other words, you pay so many thousands of dollars to have the right to buy the seat. So the 49ers, almost every seat is like that. So you really don't, so we're talking about going to an automatic renewal. So people just sign up like you're at a health club and you sign up to keep getting billed every month. So we're gonna change the payment plans, but that's kind of what I did there. With the Timberwolves on Monday and Tuesday, when I was there last time, we decided to have a sales contest because they have a lot of tickets they need to sell. So I put 500 in of my own money. The president put in 500. And two of the senior execs put in 500. So we have $2,000. All right, we've had this sales contest going on. Remember when I used to talk about text per card?
Yep.
Make a spectacle of everything? So when I walk in, we'll have $2,000 and we'll put it on the table like this. Cash money, no checks. No one trouble giving their money. $2,000 will sit there and then I'll hear their presentations and then somebody will walk in. So that's a big fun day for me. And I usually do that with every team I work with, try and give them an incentive to hit some sales goals. I'm working with the Heat right now to train their new EVP who's never supervised sponsorships before. So we just hired somebody for her, and now I'm gonna work with her on revamping her sponsorship department. So it really varies from team to team what I do. Depends on where they are. If they're really, really good, I'm probably helping look at revenue down the road or something with a facility. If they're really, really bad, then I'm trying to put butts in seats. We're just trying to sell tickets.
What was the new thing that the 49ers are doing with SAP with there was a new digital monitoring system for all the stadium stuff I heard.
Yeah. The way stadiums are gonna work right now, and you'll hear Bosch is like an German appliance manufacturer. Well, they make this security system and we put up in buildings. So like an arena, there'll be security monitors within like 6 blocks of the arena. It'll monitor every hotel room, it'll monitor cars. So if a car comes around 2 or 3 times, they'll flag that car and somebody will go and see who it is. I mean, it's gonna be really, really high tech. And then you won't have a ticket, you have an eye scan, or you have a fingerprint scan, some kind of bio scan to get in the building. So they take the security stuff really seriously, but they also have an issue with like wait time and backing up the lines. Because if you've ever been in a security line at a stadium, you see how half-assed it is, right? Like if I start getting a big line, I just go start pushing people through. So it's not really working, so we're gonna have to do, like Leon said, something with high tech. So that'll be the next big thing. What else?
What did you say you did with the Padres? Was that ticket sales also?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, except the Padres is my favorite stadium. Have you been?
Check.
No, I've been to a lot of the stadiums. I've been.
Okay, the Padres is absolutely the coolest stadium ever.
That's fine.
You can sit in about 4 or 5 different places there. But I'll tell you a good story. I walked into the Padres. The Padres have this beautiful setup, and within their footprint is a park. And it's open during the day for people to go and use the park. So I'm walking in San Diego, I said, I can't believe all the dogs here. There's so many dogs in San Diego. So I walk in one morning and I said, you know what, y'all need to sell season tickets to dogs. And they would look at me. I said, I'm serious. I said, I own a dog. And I said, I got home, the dog's been home. So I take the dog for a walk, feed the dog, and then I'm really reluctant to go out again and leave the dog alone, right? Any big dog does. That's how you feel, right? So I said, what if you could sell tickets to dogs? I said, your Petco Park. Makes sense. So I convinced them the first year to build these dog suites. So like 8 suites that would accommodate 2 dogs and 4 people. $100 on a weeknight, $150 on a weekend, $200 for a premier game. So we announced that, we sold them out in like 2 days for the rest of the year. So now, we sold this deal where you can bring your dog every game. Not like Bark in the Park night, every day you can bring your dog. And so when I was doing this to him, I wrote up this press release, like I was a dog. Really funny, so I said, yeah, you know what, I'm real excited about the Padres, because, you know, Mary's a great pet owner, but Mary comes home, she takes me for a walk, she brings me home, feeds me, and we love the Padres, so she puts the Padres on TV, and we're watching, and all of a sudden Mary's asleep. I'm by myself. I said, not any fun. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy Padres season tickets, I'm gonna take Mary to the games, I get an extra walk, because she gotta walk me to the park, walk me back, and maybe they have some good concessions that are like dog ice cream. So I wrote this whole thing, and they just looked at me, but then they didn't. So Petco, we did the dog suites. Petco put an attendant in the suite that worked at Petco, a certified dog trainer. When the dog came to the game, what does the dog get? Doggy bag. It's a bag with toys and a bunch of treats in it. And then we have all the Petco products all lined up. So you can sample some stuff, like you go to dog lay in a dog bed and see if he likes it. So it's a kind of a really cool thing, so that's what we did. That's one of the most fun things I've done. But it makes money. Yeah. You know what made me think about it? Remember when Michael Vick got caught dog right? All right, you know how long it took the NFL to shut his shit down? Like, he wasn't even in court yet, and you couldn't buy a Michael Vick jersey. They stopped it right away, and I'm thinking, boy, dog owners are powerful people. So I just always kept that in the back of my head. So you are the rose among the thorns. So what do you want to do?
Sports marketing, social media.
Nice.
Can you talk more about working for an agency?
Sure. In fact, the majority of students, if I had to look at one place I place students, it's probably agencies. An agency is somewhere to go if you like doing more than one thing. If you like to balance a number of different things and work on 2 or 3 projects simultaneously, it's a lot of fun. You can be in a strategy agency where your job is to think up ways to activate the partnership, or you could be in an agency where you are the person out there at the event making the thing happen. So those are the 2 different types of agencies. Wasserman is probably the one I work with the most, and they're going to be involved in the Olympics because Casey Wasserman lives in LA. So they have an office in LA, an office in New York, an office in Raleigh, and an office in London. But there's a really good marketing arm is here in Dallas, and that's a really good marketing agency. But if you like to do a number of different things, you can do event management, you can do sponsorship, you can do analytics. Y'all good in math? Business intelligence, which is sports analytics, is the hot